At this hour, law enforcement across the United States on heightened alert, watchful for so-called lone wolves. The FBI and Department of Homeland Security putting out a bulletin warning that the airstrikes against the Islamic extremists overseas could inspire homegrown terrorists to attack within this country and that they might be difficult to detect. Police and other agencies are being told to be extra vigilant and especially watchful of suspicious postings on social media. So let's talk about this. Let's also talk about the status of the airstrikes in general. I want to bring in Peter Brooks. He's a former CIA officer, now with the Heritage Foundation, and with me here in New York, Lieutenant Colonel Rick Francona, our military analyst. Peter, let me ask you, this warning to Homeland Security agencies across the country that what's going on now in Syria might be an inspiration to lone wolf types. Is this pro forma? This seems like it would be standard operating procedure in a case like this.
Yeah, I think it is important to do that. There may be some intelligence, John, that they have that they're not sharing with us because of intelligence sources and methods that may be telling them to do this more than they would otherwise. But obviously the events overseas are critically important in this, and especially that plot we had with Khorasan. So we know Al-Qaeda is recruiting here. We know that Syrian Islamist groups are recruiting here. ISIS is recruiting here. So it makes perfect sense to me that they do this.
And we are still assessing the success level of that attack, the Tomahawk attack on Khorasan, that group that was in the northwestern part of Syria. The United States says planning some kind of attack, perhaps on the United States or Europe. So assuming that it was successful, which is to say that some of its leaders were killed, perhaps some of the stuff it was making was destroyed, how much of a setback is it to a group like that that is determined one way or another, Peter, to hurt the United States?
You make a good point, John. I mean, we're going to have to see. This was a one plot. You know, we've had nearly 60 plots against the United States since 9/11. Most of them have been foiled. But, of course, we had Fort Hood. We had the Boston Marathon bombers. So this, anytime you can push them back, push them, get them off balance, distract them, they have to reassemble, go back to where they were, it's good. The fact is, my bottom line view is that we have to earn our security one tough day at a time, and that takes real professionalism on the part of our intelligence, law enforcement, military and others to protect us and keep us safe here at home.
All right, one tough day at a time. That's a good segue, Colonel.